evening, everyone. It's Karen Whooley, and it's so good to see you this live Wednesday. I am getting some extra feedback here, so hang on one second and let me find out why. Oh, I see why. Okay. Are you guys hearing me? Okay. Make sure, first of all, everybody can hear me. Someone post in chat and let me know if you can hear me. Okay. Can you hear me? I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. Oh, awesome. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So, sorry about that, guys. Since I'm using a 2-camera setup and I'm doing something a little different this time, I just want to make sure my sound is working perfectly for you guys. Okay. So today's topic is let's talk Tunisian. And I know we've talked about Tunisian in the past, but today I thought I'd give you also a little mini lesson and we'll talk a little bit more about Tunisian in depth. So if you have a question about Tunisian, make sure you in the comments type a Q, a space, and then your question. Anything about Tunisian, I'll scoop those up and answer those kind of towards the end. But if you have something that you need to ask, even when I'm talking about Tunisian, go ahead and throw it in there, and I'll make sure that I get it answered. Let's see who's here in chat this morning. First, we have Linda and Daisy. I'm so glad you guys are here. Good morning. And Laura's here. Good morning. I'm so glad you're here. And I am, excuse me, we have a lot of smoke and a lot of fires here in Washington. So I feel like I'm really straining today to get my voice out. So I'm going to do the best I can. I got to take a sip of coffee. It hasn't been the best for my asthma and my throat and all that stuff. So Renee is here. Good morning, Renee. It's good to see you. And Charlene, good morning. I'm so glad you're here. And I'm so sorry that you thought yesterday was Wednesday, but I'm glad you made it this morning. So that's wonderful. And Kathy from Florida, welcome. It's good to see you. Is this your first time here or have you been on my lives before? I can't remember. And then we have Pat. Good morning, Pat. Awesome. And everybody can hear me, it sounds like. Okay. And then Stephanie came in. Good morning. So good to see you guys. I'm so glad you guys are all here. Anyway, I thought I'd try something different. Oh, and Liz, good morning. I'm so glad you're here. Good morning. Okay, so first, since we're talking about Tunisian, I thought I would give away a copy of my Nirvana pattern. Oops, I don't want to put that on there yet. And I want this to be up by itself. There we go. So Nirvana is a Tunisian pattern. And I'm going to put myself back up again. Here, hang on a second. There we go. This is the original. It needs to be blocked desperately. I didn't realize how bad it was when I pulled it out this morning. But this is the Tunisian Nirvana. It's a tank top slash kind of I wear it with long sleeves underneath it. I don't like it as a tank top. But you could wear it as a tank top. It's done in Tunisian and it's done from side to side. So each piece starts at this end and works its way to the other end. So the Tunisian stitches, I don't know if I can show you, are sideways rather than up and down on the fabric. And it gives it a little bit better drape. And it also allowed for me to hide the curling a little bit more, because if those of you have done Tunisian before know that the bottom of Tunisian sometimes wants to curl. And actually I have a little sample here that I did really quick before. See how the bottom wants to curl, and that's just a natural thing. It blocks out beautifully, but when working side to side, it helps stabilize that edge because I'm seaming it to the back and the front and the back together. And so I'm seaming on that curling edge so it stabilizes it. So that's our giveaway today. So now I'm going to stop sharing that screen and I am going to share how you can enter to win. Hang on one second here. Let me find it. There we go. Okay, so if you want to enter to win the pattern for Nirvana, you are going to type in hashtag Tunisian in the chat. So you make sure you spell it exactly as you see it here, Tunisian. I think I spelled it right. Did I spell it right? I did spell it right. Yes, I have the two I's. Okay. Hashtag Tunisian, and you will be entered to win a digital copy of the pattern. The way, for those of you who've not been here before, the way I do this is you have to be here live to do it. So if you're watching after the fact, unfortunately, you cannot enter to win. But you type in hashtag Tunisian, and then at the end of the show, I'll draw a name, and whoever wins, and Linda, I apologize, you are the one who won last week, so you're not eligible this week. But then whoever wins, I will put it in your account in my shopping cart on my website. So if you do not have an account on my website, I will create one for you. So after the show, or after I draw the winner, if I don't know whether or not you have an account, I will ask you to email me with your email address, and then I'll set it up in the background. Now, I do want to make a quick little note about my shopping cart, because this week, for some reason, I've had like 4 people email me who are new subscribers who wanted to get into their account on my website, and you cannot create an account until you purchase something. And the reason I have set that up that way is because, well, there's 2 reasons. The first reason is that, I'm going to put myself back on the screen here. I'm going to remove that. The first reason is that there's the rewards system. So I want to make sure that you are hooked up correctly to the reward system. And one of these days, I'm going to have to do a video that I put on my website about the reward system. I just haven't done that in a while, especially now that I've updated my site. But there are a few of you, and I know there's a few of you who are here on this live right now that have enough points to get discount coupons on stuff like that. So you might want to check your rewards account. But the second reason why I don't allow it is lately I have been getting a brute force attacks from a Russian Federation. And so I know that earlier this week I had a crochet club member, or a Crochet Karoo club member, who couldn't log in because her account was locked out because of brute force attack stuff and the way I set things up. So it's really important that the only way you can create your account is when you purchase something. So if you purchase a pattern, if you decide, you don't win Nirvana and you want a copy of it, you can go in and purchase it, and it'll automatically create the account for you. It'll ask you for a password and all that stuff. So I just want to make you guys aware of that. I just want to get that out there, especially for those watching after the fact. Just because I've been getting so many questions this week about it. And I don't know why. So anyway, Nirvana is I have it upside down. Nirvana is our free pattern that I'm giving away. So I thought I'd just make sure I do that. Now, I just saw that there's some people that have come in. Kathy says she's here once in a while. I thought so. I couldn't remember. I know you're part of the Crochet Crew, and I just couldn't remember if you'd been here as well. So awesome. And Judy's here. Good morning, Judy. I'm so glad to see you here. And Sharon's here. She just posted her little Tunisian in there. Judy just finished doing oh, yay. Okay. Send me the link when you have a moment, Judy, so that I can put that in my next newsletter too, so people will watch it. Yeah, Judy did a little a mini interview with me, a written one that I just answered the questions, and she's going to be featuring me on her weekly videos tomorrow. So those of you who don't follow Judy, go follow her and watch tomorrow. And I just saw Kelly popped in. Good morning, Kelly. Good to see you. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and get started with this little thing on Tunisian. I am going to put my hands on the screen here, and you can see my mouse right now. I'm gonna first we're gonna talk about tools for Tunisian. Now, Tunisian, a lot of people think you have to use those really. I'm gonna show you the only one I could find right now. You know what? I might make myself a little bigger here. Oh, it's not gonna let me do that. Okay. Let me make my hands complete. There we go. That is what I want. So everybody seems to think that you have to use these long hooks. I mean, there's so many people out there. This is a really small hook. It's a 2.5 millimeter. You could use this with thread or lace weight yarn or anything like that. This is the only long one I could find that was by itself. That I could show you. This is from Skicel or from Addi Turbos. You know, if you know those hooks, Addi Turbos or Addi Turbo needles. Definitely, they have so many sizes, and they're the only brand that I've ever seen that can use lace weight in the long hooks like this. So I wanted to show their brand as well, but you don't have to use these super long hooks. My favorite, and I'm going to show you my favorite set, is these are from Denise, and I'm going to put Denise's. I have a affiliate link with them, so if you're interested in purchasing this set from Denise, this is an affiliate link to their website. But what I like about them is that you've got the hooks, and that comes with different size cables. I put a cap on this one, but you'll notice there's 2 of each size. So I like the fact that I can use this also for double-ended crochet, double-ended Tunisian crochet. They used to call it crow hooking or on the double crochet, that kind of thing. So I'm going to put my stopper on it because I'll be using this later. But this is my absolute favorite set. So if you're interested in this set, Denise does have it. They have different fabrics. My fabric happened to be about 2 or 3 years ago. I think they have different fabrics now. But this is a great set. And Denise has always been really good to me when I teach Tunisian classes live in supporting my classes by giving me free hooks to give out to all the students for the class. So I would highly recommend supporting Denise. And the cool thing about them is since they I don't know if you guys know, Denise actually, the original owners of Denise actually sold the company to a mother-daughter mother-daughter team who run it now. And they have changed the connections. The old connections used to always come off, and I used to hate Denise because I would be working even with their knitting needles, and the knitting needle would pop off, and then I'd lose stitches. Same thing with Tunisian. I could have a longer strand or a longer, not strand, what do you call this? Cable on it. And the cable would pop off and I'd lose all my stitches that I just pulled up, things like that. They have changed the connection and it's beautiful. I use them all the time now. And the other thing is that they've made the process in which they make the plastic hook better, so there's no seam to catch on the yarn. So these are super smooth. So if you're interested in Denise and want a cost-effective set of interchangeable hooks, I recommend the Denise set. Now, I'm going to take Denise off here for a second. My second favorite, and I'm going to open this up first before I put it on screen. This is my second favorite set. Now, this is in a Delaque case, so it doesn't come this way. But these are the Knitter's Pride interchangeables. These are my second favorites. I love them because they're wood, they're soft, they have a more rounded edge on most of them, or tip on them. They have a nice big, I'm going to use a smaller hook here, the nice big bowl to catch the yarn. They are inline hooks. And they come with a variety of sizes of cables. Now, the only downside to this is that if you wanted to use them for double-ended hooks, you have to buy 2 sets of them. But these are my favorite. I like the symphony. That's the symphony wood because they're all different colors and each hook size is a different color. And it's kind of like with the Denise did the same thing where the hook sizes are different. So it helps me remember which size I'm using. I love these when I'm doing just straight up Tunisian and I'm doing a really big project and I need longer cables because Denise, you can purchase the longer cables for Denise. And you even have, I'm going to show you with Denise, they have the extenders. I don't know if you can see that. So you can put two cables together. But I tend to not like to have an extender in there. I like to have a single cable. So that's why I prefer these for bigger projects. I'm trying to think of a project I did with these that I was in a magazine and I'm trying to remember what it was. And now I can't remember, but I was making big panels. Oh, it was a Ruana that I was making that had it. So if you're interested in those, I have a link there. That is not an affiliate link. I'm not an affiliate with Knitter's Pride, but that is my second favorite set. So I'm going to just close this guy up. Okay. Now, the next favorite set I'm going to show you. And I just went online to see if they made these anymore, and they don't. But you can ask them about it. These are Laurel Hill Tunisian hooks. I'm going to pull out the big one. They're made out of forest palm wood, and I believe this is maple in the cap. Now these are the 14-inch hooks. I have the complete set. They were about $8 to $10 a hook back when I bought them. Oh gosh, I was still living. Was I living in California when I started buying these? I don't know if I know they still make regular hooks in this wood. So if you're interested in these, I would recommend contacting them and using them. I really love wooden Tunisian hooks because they're softer on my hands, and because I have early onset arthritis. I think I've mentioned that before. And they are warmer. They warm up and they keep my hand warm so my arthritis doesn't kick in and I can crochet a little bit longer. The plastic doesn't seem to bother me as much, but the metal hooks, when I was using metal Tunisian hooks way back in the day, they are not comfortable for me at all. So I use the wooden hooks, and I have the complete set. They go from a size D to the biggest one, which is an N. So there you can see the N there. So you've got quite the range in here of hooks, and this is especially wonderful for me as far as I like the smaller hooks. You guys know that. So having the smaller hooks and for projects going forward, those really help with some stuff. Okay. Any questions so far on Tunisian hooks? I'm going to go back to chat right now because I just noticed you guys are put myself back in here. I noticed you guys are putting in here some chats here. Good morning, SK. Good morning, Sharon. I recently learned Tunisian. I have made some small things, working on hand towels now. Great. Awesome. I'm glad you're learning Tunisian. And Judy says, I'm a pencil grip crocheter. I've tried many times to use the knife grip, but don't think that designers realize that it's not possible to do. Actually, it is, because I do it all the time. I think the key to being able to use a pencil hold, I'm going to put this one back on, is having a shorter end. You don't need to be using these big long hooks. I'm going to pull this one out since I zipped it up. I mean, doing it this way is hard, but when you have something that you can grip, and when I show you how I do the simple stitch, I'll do it in the pencil hold and show you that you can do it. You just don't want to hold it back here. You want to hold it closer to the hook, and you should be able to do that. Okay, any questions, guys, so far about hooks? Hooks for Tunisian. I'm gonna put myself back on the screen before we go any farther. Any questions? I know we've talked about some of this before, and there's one other hook I forgot to mention. And I'm going to put that back up on the hook here really quick, or on the screen, not on the hook. Is the double-ended hook. And some of you may have seen these in your grandmother's stash of hooks. I have a couple of these that are in metal. This one happens to be a Clover Takumi size J. But the double-ended hook is for what I'm going to call is crochet on the double, or crow hooking is what the old names used to be. I don't know what they call them now. I love this. In fact, so I wasn't going to say this until later, but I'm going to be teaching crow hooking starting in January online as an online class using Zoom. Eventually, I'll probably make a class on. I should take that off the screen too. Eventually, I'm going to do a class that is a static class that you can just take at your leisure. But I am going to be teaching on the double. I'm going to be teaching Tunisian. I have several Tunisian classes, and we'll talk about those later. But I will be starting to offer those in January. So if you're interested in those, be watching. Okay, any questions? Oh, I got a comment in here. I knit with pencil grip and have knitted a shawl with a 30. Yep. Okay. Yeah. You just have to know. You just have to know how to hold your grip, and it takes practice. It does take practice. I've heard the term crochet in the round. It's so much fun and interesting. Yes, you can do Tunisian in the round. Tunisian in the round is another class that I do teach. In fact, I have a baby hat pattern that's not on my catalog anymore that I'm going to redo because the yarn was a specialty yarn that I did with it, and I want to redo it with just regular yarn. And the specialty yarn's no longer available, but I'm going to definitely redo that class so that I can teach Tunisian in the round as well. Okay, so no questions. It's a little awkward for first. It can be, but it's not hard, right? Exactly. Okay, so let's talk about some books out there for Tunisian. I think I've shown you guys some of these. I'm going to start with probably my absolute favorite that is no longer available. So the only place that you're going to be able to find this is probably on eBay or some other sort of auction type sites. This is the Encyclopedia of Tunisian Crochet by Angela Grabowski. Is no longer in print. I was one of the first people to get this book when she released it. It's done mostly in black and white, but she's got, look at all the stitches she's got in here. The basic there's the honeycomb stitches, the basic foundations, honeycomb stitches, more honeycomb combos. And she's got tons in here. This is just in the back of the book. She has whole lots of other stuff in here. Basic foundations again. And she talks about 2-stitch honeycomb, 2-stitch honeycomb, basket weave patterns. And she tells you what page up here where in instructions on page 107 for this one. And in this case, those are all basket weaves, true checkerboards. You can see some of these checkerboards type things using twisted and basics. So she's got, vertical stripes. This is a great book if you can find it. If you can find this book anywhere, I say get it. There's so much in here. She's got a lot of information. She's got question and answer sections. Stuff like, my stitches are very loose and large in the beginning end. What am I doing wrong? And she'll tell you how to fix that. I just had to frog a row, and now I'm having trouble getting my hook into the stitch. The button on the end of my cable fell off, and I have one of those double-ended cable hooks. How do I keep the stitches from falling off, etc., etc. She talks about chatching me threads, getting started. This is a great book. So if you can find this book, she's got 400 stitches in here, guys. So if you can find it, get this one. This one actually is a book by my friend, Brenda Borg. Fair Isle Tunisian. This is done mostly in the Tunisian knit stitch, but she's got a beautiful patterns in here. So if you haven't seen this book, it's on Amazon. I don't know that she has it's on her website. I don't know if her website's still functioning right now. I know she's going through some growing pains. So, but look at these blankets. Aren't they gorgeous? And this is just the knit stitch. So if you look at a sweater. So if you're interested in doing Fair Isle color changing in Tunisian, I highly, highly recommend this book by Brenda. It is on Amazon, so make sure you check that one out. I'm going to skip these two for right now. Start with this one. Here's another book I recommend. It's from Annie's Attic, or Annie's catalog now. And it's called Learn to Do Tunisian Lace Stitches. And this one has an interactive DVD. Now, most computers don't have a DVD anymore, but you can still throw it into a DVD player if you've got one. But look at that, simply that capelet. It's all in lace stitches. So peekaboo throw, there's a shawl, a table runner, blankets with baubles. Let's see. But she's also got 10 different stitches here you can learn as well. So in this book, if you're looking at to do lace in Tunisian, it's a really great book. Okay, I want to make sure I've got all the straight up Tunisian books here first. Okay, this is another great book. This is also Annie's Attic, which is now Annie's catalog. 101 Easy Tunisian Stitches. Again, it's 101 stitches of Tunisian. Great book. I know it's still available. I think right now it's only digital. I don't know if they do it in print anymore, but this is another great book, and I know that Annie still has it. Okay, and then the last straight up Tunisian book is this is a Japanese stitch dictionary that's 100% Tunisian. So it's all in Japanese, but the charts are cool because it's got the stitches done in charts, so you can read the charts. And then in the back of the book, it's got basics here, so you can find the symbol, the Japanese lettering, to figure out what each symbol is, and what you're trying to do, that kind of thing. So, but these have some amazing stitches that one day what I'd like to do is go through this and maybe do videos on them in English so that people can learn how to do some of these stitches. But I love these stitches, and I have used these in the past. So this is one. I got mine from where did I get mine from? I can't remember. There's a local grocery store that carries these books. You can get them on Amazon Japan. I know that for sure. I'm trying to remember what else, where you can get these. Sometimes Amazon themselves has them, but there's also a shop that is in Kansas, Yarn Barn of Kansas. I don't know if they do online, but they used to go to live events and be in the marketplace, and they sell all of the Japanese stitch dictionaries as well. So you can check with Yarn Barn of Kansas, Yarn Barn of Kansas, and see if they have it. Now this is the store locally that I got mine from. It's called I can never say that, Kinokuniya. I know there's some in New York. I know. To see this one in Seattle, I paid $27.75 for this book. So if you've got a Kinokuniya store near you, I don't know how I'm probably totally butchering that, but if you have that store near you, this is a really great book also to have. Okay, so now we talked about double-ended hooks. This is this is the Needlecraft Shop, which is part of Annie's now, on the double crochet. You crochet on the double. That's why I call it on the crochet on the double. This is the how-to that teaches you some of the basics. I'm not 100% sure these books are available anymore, but you can look for them if you're interested in those. This is another one from Annie's. or needlecraft shop. Dishcloths, and this is where I get a lot of my dishcloth patterns that I use at home. And then 101 double-ended hook stitches. So of course Annie's had to do for their 101. So this one's got, and what I like about the double-ended hook and the crochet on the double is that you can use 2 colors or you can just use one. I like the 2 color option, but this is just gives you a little bit. You can do baubles and lace and all sorts of stuff. So that's another book I highly recommend. Any questions about books, guys? Charlene says she's learning a different Tunisian. Yep, Jay Dane stitches. I know she has been doing a Tunisian stitch every month kind of thing. Anybody else have a question for me? Oh, there we go. There I am. Okay, so just a reminder, I'm giving away my Nirvana pattern, which is done in simple stitch Tunisian. If you're interested in winning a copy of that, just type in #Tunisian and I will put it in your shop if you're the winner. So make sure you do that. I just want to make sure I put that back up on the screen here for a second for those who may have popped in a little or a little late to the game. Okay, let's see. Toni Lipsy, yes, has a great book on Tunisian projects. Yes, she does. She does. In fact, I have that book as well. I have a lot of Tunisian books actually that are digital. They're on my my iPad. So I forgot to bring my iPad with me, but I have Toni Lipsy's. I have, oh shoot. She's from the UK and now I can't think of her name. But I have another book that is from, that is a great book as well. You have tons of books, bunch of Tunisians. I need to look through them and see how many I have. Wow. You're like me. I just collect books. In fact, now that I'm collecting them on Kindle or just in, iPad format, iBooks or whatever, I can't keep count anymore. You like Chagou, bamboo Tunisian hooks. I haven't tried them yet, but they come in 9-inch. I didn't even realize they come in 9-inch. That's why I like these because I can get that. So this is a really small cable. Now, one of the things I should mention about cables too, with this is true with crochet hooks, with knitting needles, any cable that, see how this one wants to curve. Anything that is not wanting to straighten out on its own. Now this one I can probably, if I worked on it hard enough, I could probably get it to straighten. But the best thing to do is to get like a mug. Now this is my coffee mug that has a lid on it. But get a mug and fill it with boiling hot water and stick the cable in the water for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And then put it out on a towel and straighten it out and let it kind of set itself and cool off. And that'll keep your cable from curving as much when you're working. This is true for the crocheted cables or the knitting needles. I used to do this all the time when I was working for my local shop back on the west side of the state. We would do this all the time for people. We microwave a mug of water and straighten their needles for them, especially if they just bought the needles in the shop and they wanted to get started at the table. We always did that, or when we had a class, that kind of thing. So just a little tip there for you. Okay, I am going to go back to my hands now. And I'm going to do the Tunisian simple stitch. And I'm going to do it both knife hold, which is my most comfortable way of doing things. And but then I'm going to show you how I do it in pencil hold as well. So first thing you're going to do is chain, obviously. And I am using worsted weight yarn here, and I'm using an eye crochet hook because I wanted to have some looseness in that chain. So I'm just going to do like 5 stitches. There's 3, 4, 5. Now, I want 5 stitches, but I need to have that nice little chain that happens. There we go. So you see how on the edge, I'm right-handed, so there's a chain that goes up here. And then there's also a chain that goes up on the, well, it's kind of upside down chain on the other side, but you can see it better on the front that there's a chain. So I want, that chain that goes up. So I always chain an extra stitch. So if I want 5 stitches, I'm going to chain 6. Now, to help with the rolling, you never want to work through the front of the stitch to pick up loops. You always want to work in the back bumps. If you look at my chain here really closely, I'm going to show you the front first here. There's my chain. If you flip it over, there's these bumps that go up the back. You're going to work in under those. So I'm going to skip the first one, which is right here. I'm going to skip that one. I'm going to go to this second one. I'm going to insert from front to back, yarn over, pull up a loop. Insert into the next one, yarn over, pull up a loop. Hang on a second. There we go. I need some yarn there. Okay. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. So if you look at here now, this is the original loop that was on my hook. And then I picked up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Okay. So I'm going to take this cable off because it keeps banging and I don't need it for what I'm doing. So now, this is where people get confused if you're doing Tunisian for the first time. To take them off, you yarn over, and the very first one, you just pull through 1 loop. And that's what makes the chain that goes up the side. Then you're going to yarn over, pull through 2, and bring it up close. Yarn over, pull through 2, and you'll see it's decreasing by 1 each time. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I left this loop really big on this edge, so it's going to be bigger than it should be, which one of the things you want to do is before you start picking up loops is you want to tighten the loop on your hook before you get started. Now I was talking, so I wasn't doing that. So, okay, so now I'm going to do this pencil hold. Okay, so you're going to insert underneath the first bar. You're going to skip the first bar right here. That's where I made the big loop. You're going to skip that. You're going to go to the second one and go from, in my case, I'm going from right to left. If you are left-handed, you're going to go left to right. You're going to yarn over and pull up a loop through that bar, just the bar. And then insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now it's starting to get awkward for me. So what I do is I come closer, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. Insert. Now, when you insert into this last one, you don't want to just grab the front. Oops, you can't see me. You don't want to insert just through that front loop on the back one. You want to go through that front loop, but also, I'm going to switch this here really quick. You want to pick up the loop behind it. So I insert like that. So you see how I grabbed 2 strands there? You want to do that because that's what keeps your side nice and even and straight. So now I have 6 loops on again. So now I'm going to yarn over, pull through 1 first, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. This is where I get a little awkward for me. Pencil, because I don't do pencil in Tunisian that often, but I have done it. And I do teach it this way. Pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So any questions, guys? I noticed you guys just said a bunch of stuff here. Let's see. I was going to buy Tony Lipsy's newest book, but I want to know what other people think of it before I buy it. I love my Denise. I have original gray and another set with colors so that I can do double stitches. Sharon says, I have Tony Lipsy's book and love it. Lots of nice project. My only complaint is there isn't an index. Yes. I didn't want to say that earlier. I'm glad somebody else said it first. That is the thing about Tony's book that I don't like. There's a couple other things I don't like about the layout of it, but the projects are great. But I agree with you. That is probably the most major problem with that book, especially when you've got it on digital and you don't have a table of contents or an index that you can just go to and find what you want and then click on it and it brings you to that page. So that's just a preference for me too. Okay, anybody have a question about this? So it seems like all of you guys have done Tunisian before. I have a feeling that it's mostly going to be the people who are watching after the fact that might have questions for me. There's a couple things about Tunisian I should mention while I'm here talking about it, is that when you work that top row, the next row, it forces the row below it to look like a normal Tunisian. Right now, this does not look like a normal Tunisian row. So I'm going to do one more row here. So under from right to left, pull up a loop, right to left, pull up a loop, right to left, pull up a loop, right to left, pull up a loop. And then remember that last stitch, I grabbed the 2 loops, yarn over, pull up a loop. Then you yarn over, pull through 1, and then yarn over, pull through 2, 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 and yarn over, pull through 2. So that's a basic Tunisian stitch. So now to end off Tunisian, there's 2 different ways you can do this, because right now, if I were to just cut the yarn here and fasten off, that top edge is ugly. It doesn't look like the rest of the fabric. So there's 2 schools of thought. Some people finish it off with slip stitches. Some people finish it off with single crochets. For simple stitch, I use slip stitches. I vary which stitch I use depending on which stitch I am working on. If it's the Tunisian knit stitch, I would use a single crochet. So to finish this off, I skip the first stitch again. I go under the bar, yarn over, and then slip through both. And that finishes that stitch. Yarn over, pull through both. And you keep this loop on your hook as loose as you possibly can. Yarn over, pull through both. Yarn over, pull through both. And then when you do the last one, you still want to grab both stitches or both loops and pull through both. And now before I cut it, I'm going to pull that loop. You'll notice now that top row looks like the other 2 rows. So that's really, really super easy to do. So then you just cut your yarn, and then you always fasten off with a fasten off knot. And there is a little tiny piece of fabric of Tunisian. So definitely, I just saw that Renee said she had never done Tunisian before. And you really definitely need to try it. It's a lot of fun, especially the thing I like about simple stitch. I should put this back under here. The thing I like about simple stitch is that it's very, you just keep going. It's very soothing if you're just doing simple stitch. Now, when you get into the more complicated stitches, you have to think about what you're doing, because it is different than crochet, where you may not see it when you complete the row that you made a mistake, but when you do the next row, you'll definitely see it. So sometimes when you get more complicated, simple stitch, knit stitch, and purl stitch are really soothing stitches. But as you start doing lace and honeycombs and stuff like that, it does get a little interesting. So I definitely think you need to try it if you haven't. I'm going to put myself back on the screen now. Let's see. Oh, Linda says definitely to try it. Yep, relaxing. And Renee says she'll try it. Definitely try it, Renee. I think you'll enjoy it. Okay. So I do have a question here. My hand that holds the hook cramps. Any thoughts or suggestions? There's a couple reasons why that'll happen. Kathy, a lot of times when people are doing Tunisian, especially if they're using I'm going to pull one of these out. Wrong way. Okay, so I'm going to use the big hook just so you guys can see what I'm doing here. A lot of times, whether you are a knife holder or a pencil holder, I'm going to take your quote off so that it's not blocking what I'm doing here. We hold too hot tart, because we're afraid the loops are going to slip. I do that a lot, depending on what I'm using. And literally what I recommend is that you use a little bit longer hook if you can, with either a longer cable, or if you're doing a dishcloth and you like the straighter needles. I like to have the cable because I can squish more stuff on it. But I'm going to put this back on here. When you are working, stay close. And I didn't tighten it. There we go. When you're crocheting, stay as close to the hook end rather than stay away from your loops. The farther away from your loops you are, the more you're going to cramp. But there's no reason why you can't put your hand on top of the loops and just slide them over and just keep this way. You will stop cramping doing that, first of all. Secondly, is you just can't grip the hook no matter which way you crochet. Don't grip the hook with a death grip. You have to keep it loose in your hand. You use your wrist a little bit more rather than your hand, your fingers when you're moving. Use the motion here in your wrist. That's super important. And then also staying as close as you can to the hook end rather than being way back here holding this. Okay, or even back if you've got a cable and a hook like this, staying back here will cause cramps. Being here close to the work prevents the cramps. Does that help, Kathy? Any other questions, guys? No more questions. You guys are quiet today. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about today? Let me know. I mean, I've still got about, 13 minutes or so, 15 minutes before it's 10 o'clock my time. Anything else you want me to talk about with Tunisian? It could be anything else. For those of you, while I'm waiting for questions to come in, for those of you who are on my newsletter, who get my newsletter, don't forget to fill out the survey. Tomorrow around 10 a.m. your time, I have it set so that it goes to your 10 a.m. local time. You'll get a reminder to do the survey. If you're not on a subscriber to my newsletter, you won't get that reminder. You aren't actually. I'm not sending it out to the public. I'm just sending it out to the newsletter subscribers because those are the people. I want the people who allow me into their inbox to be the ones to give me their opinions on things right now, because they are the ones who are willing to give me their email address and let me in their inbox. So that tells me a lot about they're engaged with what I'm doing. So I really, 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 really need as many people on my newsletter to fill out that form. And for those of you who may not have skipped that part, if you are on my newsletter, on the 30th, I'm going to shut down the form. And then on the 1st, I'm going to draw 5 names who are going to get a special treat from me. I'm trying to decide if they're all going to be different or if they're all going to be the same. So that's why I haven't said what the treats are yet, because I'm still trying to decide. But they're a cool little treat. And so make sure you do that. Renee asks, does giveaway pattern use simple stitch? Yes, it is the simple stitch. So, and it's made to be rugged looking. I originally designed this for a yarn company. And so I'm going to show you here. Now, it's a little more rugged looking right now because it really needs to be blocked again. But if you look at the neckline, there's like stair steps here. I'm going to use this side because it's flatter. There's like little stair steps. They wanted that jagged look on the in the neckline and the sleeves. You'll notice here there's a jag. They wanted me to have it look really rugged and stuff. In order to get rid of that, if you want a more smooth edge, add a different type of edging on it, or you can change where you do your increases and decreases. That's a more advanced technique, and I would show you that in a class later on. But right now, that's what I can tell you is that is definitely simple stitch. Sharon says, can you recommend a Tunisian hook with a bit longer grip area? Sometimes Denise seems a bit short. I would say definitely these for sure. I'm going to pull out an H. This is an H. You can see it's a bit longer. This is an I. This is the Denise. So it's a good inch and a half longer than the Denise. So that's, if you're looking for interchangeables, I would say go with the Knitter's Pride. If somebody said they use Chigu, do you know if Chigu are the longer ones or the shorter ones, or if they have multiple sizes? I do know that I want to say it's Knitter's Pride that offers, let me look at their website here really quick. They offer different lengths. Interchangeable Tunisian. I'm looking at their site right now to see if they offer different lengths than these. They don't. Yeah, no, they don't offer different sizes and lengths for those hooks. But I would say I would go to the Knitter's Pride if you're finding that the Denise are too small, or too short, I should say. Does that make sense? I don't have the pattern. Oh, maybe I do have the pattern here in front of me, do I? I used a size 9 Tunisian hook, but I didn't say what cable length I did. I can tell you I used the Knitter's Pride for this one because it was a bigger piece. I don't know what the cable length was, though. I don't usually give a cable length for Tunisian unless I'm working in the round for any reason. But for flat pieces, I don't usually give you a cable length. I usually tell you to use the cable length that is comfortable for you. With Tunisian, some people don't mind having a shorter cable and cramming everything to the end. I tend to want a little bit more room when I'm working on like a garment. So I would say, probably at least a 24 inch. I may have used a 30 or 32. I don't remember. This was designed back in like 2010 or 11. If I remember correctly. And the actual design and pattern may have come out later, but it was designed way back. So anybody else have a question for me? You can always go to my website too. You can always go to my patterns. I'm going to bring my patterns back up here really quick. Let me pull Nirvana back up here really quick for you guys. Okay, so whenever you go to my shop, you can go to any of my patterns, and if you scroll down, you will always find out the materials I used, the size hook I used, everything about the pattern that is always asked here in the group will always be there, because I want you guys to know that it's available, what I used and what the yarn I used and everything. Now, the collage riveting worsted is no longer available. Collage is no longer around. The yarn portion, they sold their hooks to a company who's now calling them Collage again. So you might see the square crochet hooks and the square needles, the Collage squares again, but it's a totally different company than who was here when I did this pattern. So there's that. Okay, so I'm going to take that off. And I'm going to stop sharing that. I'm going to take my hook off. And then I'm going to, okay, go back. Any more questions, guys, before I go? Now, I don't have anything new to share with you. I have nothing that's come in. Have not finished the shawl I've been working on. I've run into a couple of other issues, not crochet issues, but things that have been going on that I've had to put out fires. So everything's fine. It's nothing serious. It's just that I've had to put my attention elsewhere for different things. So I have not finished that shawl, but I got a good chunk of it done last night, and I will probably finish it before the end of the week. And once that's done, I'll show you. And then after that, I'm going to be working on some other projects that I can show you. I have not sewn up the poncho yet, so I can't show you that either. So like I said, sometimes life gets in the way. So I don't have anything new to show you. I haven't gotten anything new in the shop or anything yet. So other than the fact that next week I'm releasing a pattern. The pattern for All Hallows Eve is on my blog right now. You can see all the details about All Hallows Eve on Tuesday. If you're a subscriber to my newsletter, you'll get a 25% discount on the pattern. If you are not, but you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you'll get a 10% discount on the pattern. That's something I should tell you guys is going to change next year, because I'm going to be focusing more on my newsletter, and they are going to get the bigger discount, and social media will not get a discount at all. So I just want to let you guys know whether that's going to be a thing next year. So take advantage of the 10% off now in social media for the rest of the year, because that changes in January. Renee asks if we're doing a Zoom call. Yes, I'm doing the Zoom call. For those of you on the Crochet Crew, yes, we are doing a Zoom call this afternoon, 3 p.m. Pacific. So make sure to tune in for that. For those of you who are part of the Crochet Crew, know that I missed last month. I'm sorry, because of my daughter. So we're going to cover both patterns, August and September's patterns. Also for those of you who are part of the Crochet Crew, I am going to begin the conversation today about the changes that are going to happen. And I don't have everything changed. I don't have everything set in stone, but I'm going to start talking about the changes that are going to happen to the Crochet Crew next year. So if you are interested in that and you're part of the Crochet Crew, make sure you join us at 3 p.m. Pacific time on Zoom. And the Zoom information was in the newsletter that I sent on Monday. So make sure that you use that information. Anybody else? Okay, I'm going to put it up one more time. The giveaway word is #Tunisian to win a copy of the Nirvana pattern. Let me put myself back on. Oh, geez, I can't even. All right, there we go. I'm going to remove my hands from the screen. There is the word. I'm going to give. Anybody have a question before I choose a winner here? Okay, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to enter into the drawing for Nirvana, and I'm going to hit draw. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and draw. Let's see who wins. I'm so excited. Oh, Liz, hello. There you are. I know you're part of, I know you are on my newsletters, or not on my newsletter, on my, you have an account, because I do believe you once before. So yay, congratulations. You'll get a copy of Nirvana. If you didn't win and you're interested, that pattern will always be available on my website. So you can always check that out if you want a copy. And other than that, I'm done, unless there's any other questions you guys might have. I'm going to just take that off the screen. And anybody else have anything that you want to talk about before I hang up here? Take a sip of coffee. I feel like I've been just talking for days. seeing blue sky today, so that's kind of cool. And it looks like the air quality index has gone down, so we must have had some wind that pulled everything. But congratulations, Liz. I'm so excited for you. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to talk to you guys about. I told you about the form or the survey. I told you about the Crochet Crew Zoom tonight. Okay. Okay. Well, then I'm going to sign off, guys. I hope you guys have a super weekend and the rest of your week as well. I am excited because I'm getting to get to go see my grandson on Saturday. So I'm really excited. I haven't seen him for, let's see, when did I come home? So I haven't seen him since about the 20th of August. So I'm really excited to go see him. I don't know if I told you guys this. They discovered that he was tongue-tied, that he had the tethers on his tongue and his lips. And my daughter last weekend had him released. So I'm anxious to see how his mouth looks now that it's been released. So I'll try to have some pictures for next week because he's such a cutie. Anyway, okay, guys, I have a great rest of your week. I will see you next Wednesday. I don't have a topic yet. I will come up with the topic, but if you have one, I'm going to put this back up on the screen. If you have something you want me to talk about, use this form, KarenWhooley.com/Q&A. You don't have to capitalize the Q and the A. But use that form and let me know what you'd like me to talk about. Because you know what? Like today, I didn't have a whole lot of questions because most of you have done Tunisian. Those of you that haven't did ask me a few questions or haven't had issues. Did have a question for me, but make sure you answer questions or send me topics. I really could use some help with coming up with topics. So I will see you next week. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you next time. Bye, y'all.